one London shopping street is out of this world.
Bond Street's an amazing place to be. One of the best shopping streets in the world.
This is Premier Division. This is top of the range internationally.
It has more luxury brands than any other half mile on Earth.
Monday morning, drinking champagne and looking at diamond rings. I mean, you know, what more could a girl want, really?
Beautiful. I think my husband's getting nervous, probably.
Bond Street's a hotspot of celebrity.
I've been in scenarios where entire stores have been shut down for one individual to come in.
Worth billions, the most expensive retail street in Europe.
What would you get for 50 million?
Not very much.
With dazzling diamonds.
How much will you be selling this for?
£3.2 million.
Fabulous fashion. And millionaire motors.
Its car was used in the Bond movie. So
it caters for every taste, from the antique.
If you wanted a complete set, you're talking around about $1 million.
To the new.
Bond Street is one long Instagram location.
Oh no, what's TikTok?
To the very new.
Yeah, do you like that? Yeah, I think Daddy should buy you that.
But since last year, Bond Street's been fighting for its future.
We are here to make a profit, which hasn't been that easy this year, I have to say.
As its glamorous shops battle to survive, they let our cameras in exclusively for the first time.
This is the Versailles room.
From front of house to factory floor.
When you first start working, it's like, oh my God, chocolate, 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 chocolate.
Will billion-pound Bond Street keep its crown as the world's greatest shopping street?
I'm ready to wear, but I sell anything and anywhere and anyone.
Autumn 2020. And Bond Street is open for business after London's first lockdown. Brothers Nicholas and Michael Wainwright, who run British jewellers Boodles, are taking an extraordinary gamble.
Here we've got a stone that we've just bought, an extremely valuable diamond you're looking at. It's one of the most valuable diamonds we've ever bought because it's pink and it's over 10 carats. We saw it and we thought we just have to have it. And diamonds like that hardly exist in the world. That is what they call an appreciating asset.
How much will you be selling this for?
£3.2 million.
This is a lot of money for us, but we saw it, we loved it, and we thought we've got to buy it. And we've bought it at the right price, paid for it, so it's not borrowed, we've got it.
We do have some customers who we think might be interested in this stone. Obviously, we wouldn't have bought it if we didn't think that.
And we'll make the setting really lovely to make that ring the nicest ring it could be in the world.
If I came in as a client and said that I'd like it as a pendant, not as a ring.
Oh, no problem at all. Oh, no problem. Well, when do you want it? No, we can set it in day. If the Queen wanted it in a pendant, she'd get it tomorrow afternoon.
The Queen can have other things too. Bond Street has more royal warrants than any other London street. Chocolate maker Charbonnel and Walker owes its very existence to the royal sweet tooth.
King Edward VII, who is our current Queen's great-grandfather, he was known as being a great bon viveur, and his favourite chocolate was made by Madame Charbonnel in Paris, and he persuaded her to come over here. He was rather well known for having beautiful mistresses, and we like to think that maybe that was another side of the story why she came over here to see him.
And that royal connection continues?
It does indeed, and we are so lucky to have Her Majesty's Royal Warrants. Yeah, we have lots of pictures of the Queen and the royal family around the shop. They were given to us by the palace. The Queen does have a list of favourite chocolates with us, but I'm not allowed to divulge that directly to you. However, I can just say that she has very floral tastes, which may become evident if we look at the chocolates a little bit later. Well, maybe we should start with our two most popular chocolates, which are our rose and violet creams. Never said a word. Never said a word.
And their largest box of chocks cost a Queen's ransom, £280.
And is there a picture of Mrs. Charbonnel anywhere?
There is. This is Madame Charbonnel. Well, you remember that theory I said about the Prince of Wales, known for all these beautiful mistresses and things like that? Maybe that's where the story falls a bit flat. She's not the tastiest truffle in the box, is she? Let's be honest. Bond Street, it's an amazing place to be. I mean, what a spot to people watch.
And those are the people who will splash out on designer brands, even in a pandemic.
The lady here is the queen of Dior, and she always have the latest Dior bags.
That's the Lady Delight.
I have also a Dior one, a classic.
Mine is Chanel. Sorry, girl.
You don't go to Dior just for a bag because you can buy it online. You go for an experience. It's the whole like shebang.
It's a way of an investment these days as well.
This is the Versailles room. We have one of our VIP clients. We will actually close the room completely. So to give the client complete privacy, so they don't need to know what's happening in the outside world.
How do I become a VIP? What's the definition of it?
When you start shopping later on today, I'll let you know.
At what level does the champagne come out?
Well, anytime after 11, actually. So, no, we offer drinks to all of our clients. Every client who comes into the House of Dior, yeah, whether they're coming in to have a look around for an art tour or coming in to purchase.
Dior is just one of 12 brands on Bond Street owned by the ever-growing French luxury empire LVMH. This superstore has no fewer than 70 staff.
So I noticed there are no evident price tags.
No, everything is hidden. You've always got the price on the inside. The idea is to always have a sales assistant here because we don't really want clients going through things. And the price tags are always inside, so if you know where to look, you'll always find it.
The policy here is never to discuss anything as vulgar as price in public.
If you look closely, you can see this is all done by hand, embroidered, sequin by sequin.
But some of the dresses are the price of a small family car.
What do you think of the prices here?
Well, it's luxury, so it's priced according to the luxury market. If you go to any of the boutiques down the road, I'm sure you'd see the prices are all very similar. It's beautiful craftsmanship, it takes hours of work, and you're paying for an art piece at the end of the day.
As soon as you walk in, it's boom, boom, and then it's there.
Is that your character too, would you say?
It is a little bit. I'm a little bit boom, 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 yeah.
What's your department? Where do you sell?
I'm ready to wear, but I sell anything and anywhere and anyone, so whatever. You know, we're very versatile.
You could sell me?
I could sell you for a good pretty penny. I'll get a few pennies for you, that's for sure.
Now you're a very flattering
Absolutely.
person. Is that?
You know.
But is you just have a positive view of the world?
I do, yeah. You gotta take things lightly and do your thing, you know? Don't take things too serious, especially now. So, you know, but whatever, whenever you want me to sell you, just let me know. For a pretty price, I take commission, but I gotta go. Nice to meet you. Ciao.
Bye.
As international big business tightens its hold on Bond Street, some small private concerns are managing to keep afloat. The flower stall has been in the hands of the Watkins family for 50 years. Grandfather, son, and grandson, who share more than just a surname.
My grandfather's name is Peter Watkins. Also, my dad's name is Peter Watkins, and I'm Peter Watkins as well. So Pete the III, as we say. Or we say Big Pete, Little Pete, Baby Pete. So Christmas time is murder. Do you know? Someone shouts out Pete, we all start running.
Pete, are there some little, very, very small Pete's going to come along?
not what I know of in a minute. But it's a big pressure. Do you know what I mean? If I do have one, it's got to be called Pete. I think. Do you know what I mean?
Joe, you all right?
What makes Bond Street different from other stuff?
I don't know. What makes it different, Pete? It's the stuff's beautiful, isn't it?
You've got
all the stuff is
you've got all the
superb.
best designers down here, all the best jewellery down here, you've got all the best shops on Bond Street.
Yeah.
So people want to buy the best, so they want to come here.
Yeah. It's
best flowers on Bond Street.
Yeah, I know. If I had it, I'd spend it. This is what it's for, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Me and my partner have been investing a lot in Uber lately, and it's performing really well today. Yeah. So we managed to liquidate and close some of the positions we had, and we made a great profit, and now we can go spend it.
With £1 billion being spent here every year, and a recent £40 million diamond heist. No wonder security is one of the biggest businesses on Bond Street. Both low and high tech, security is everywhere.
He's a very, very dangerous man, so... He's one of the biggest, baddest man on Bond Street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, given you know all these security guys, would you get a discount?
No. We've all tried, trust me, we've all tried.
OK, here we've got a nice car. What do you think of this?
It fits in with Bond Street. It's not practical, but it's it is what it is. The guys come down Bond Street. You do get people who, I'm trying to think, without saying dick swinging contest, or I say it another way, but it's one of those things where people want to come down and show off and go, no, I've got the next big thing. I've got this. I've got that.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah. If you've got cash, why wouldn't you?
Discreet, though, is it?
You don't want to be discreet.
Yeah, but for Bond Street, you don't want the discreetness. If you've got that money, that means you're spending money in the shop, and why be discreet about that? That's why our security needs to be what it is to protect these people.
Is it your car? Can we have a look? Let's go and have a look, chat to it. Tell me about this car. What do you like about it?
It's a Rolls Royce. It's class.
It's classy.
Class, of course it is.
And
it's the world's best.
Really?
Rolls Royce is the world's best.
And are you a classy man?
Yes, I hope I am.
And do you often come to Bond Street?
Yes, I do. I often shop to Bond Street. I'm here quite regularly.
Why? What do you like about Bond Street?
No, the relationship I have with some of the retailers here is far more exclusive than I have anywhere around the world. Right. With Bond Street, you get a little bit of extra, shall I say?
You do?
Yes, you do.
And what sort of things do you buy here?
Watches, really.
Really? Can I ask what you've got on at the moment?
I've got a Rolex Daytona.
And have you been buying another one today?
Yes, I'm here actually to collect a watch.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Can I ask what business you're in?
Aviation.
Aviation?
Yes.
Bond Street was flying high, but then, bad news.
From Thursday until the start of December, you must stay at home. You may only leave home for specific reasons.
Boodles may have the pink diamond on their hands longer than they think.
Well, it's a funny feeling. It's a bit like the end of term. All the excitement there, and then that's it, and you sort of say, see you on the other side.
I'm putting them now to bed.
With no customers allowed from tomorrow, there's really no point keeping an open bottle of champagne.
We need to finish the shot.
We don't want the bottle going flat,
Yeah,
so we thought we'd be helping. It would just go flat
We'll
otherwise.
go to wait, yeah.
November 2020. Bond Street is in lockdown. But behind the scenes, some business battles on.
If you haven't already started a stash of gifts for loved ones, Dior have helped...
With its flagship store closed, Dior is reaching out to its vast online audience with a live stream from fashion journalist and influencer Caroline Issa.
Flagships are like meccas for Instagram. I actually think that social media has completely changed also what stores look like, because you always need that Instagrammable place. So, if Bond Street is one long Instagram location, then my goodness, every store, and especially this Dior store, has got so many great little nooks and crannies to do that too.
Even in normal times, one small British business doesn't rely on passing trade. Hidden away above the shops, antique jewellers Facet and Fable is the brainchild of Eva Gowrie-Smith and Zoe Robinson.
Yeah, do you like that?
And baby comes too.
Yeah, I think Daddy should buy you that. I do, yes, and Mummy should wear it whilst you're waiting to grow up. My daughter was having a bit of a moment, so I had to take her out, and I bumped into people I know on Bond Street, and I sold a diamond. Some of these dealers that we work with, once you see the smile on Clara's face, yeah, then we negotiate, yeah.
So this is a really special find for us. It's beautiful Victorian diamonds, marquise-shaped ring. We really want to educate people on how they can wear antique pieces in a contemporary way. So
What is a contemporary way to wear an antique piece?
Just getting creative. It's all about creativity and loving your jewellery and having fun. So if you compare a modern round brilliant with an old European cut, which is a round antique diamond, you can see the difference straight away. If you see there's a little circle through the top of the diamond, right in the middle, this is an extra facet. So there's 58 facets on old cut diamonds, and the coulée is the extra facet. And you can see it when you look through the top. You can see a circle. There's a saying in the industry that diamonds shrink, and it's when you're sort of buying your first diamond, and it looks humongous when you first buy it, but over time it shrinks because your eye gets used to it.
So you need a bigger one.
I need a bigger one, exactly.
It's not just jewellery that's benefiting from the current vogue for vintage.
This is a book by John Gould, The Birds of Great Britain. In here are 360 hand-coloured lithographs. This is a set of 5, makes up a complete set. And these are £65,000. And if you wanted a complete set of the whole 43, you're talking around about £1 million.
The pandemic has brought rare book dealer Bernard Shapiro a rare bit of luck. He's negotiated a cheap rent on an empty ground floor space to open a pop-up shop.
You put the doors back on. We're not just trying to sell books, we're trying to sell pictures and prints and objects.
See a lizard there?
It's not a lizard, it's an iguana. 1,500 quid.
A snip.
Is that a lot for an iguana? Doesn't eat anything, no residual costs.
Over the last few decades, the antique shops that used to be on Bond Street have all disappeared.
Are you worried?
Well, it's a whole, it's not like I can say, look at all these other, it's not like Sainsbury's, well, there's Tesco's and Morris, this is unique. So it could be a disaster, can't it? It's a bit of a gamble, but hopefully Bond Street will work its magic.
But for most, that magic doesn't come cheap.
A lot of these companies are here because they've got to be in Bond Street, because it's one of the 3 key thoroughfares in the world. But being a British family business, we're here because we want to actually try and make some money.
We've got to make some money.
But the rent is very, very dauntingly high.
Even Bond Street needs rent collectors. And you wouldn't want to get in arrears with property men Mark Shipman and Dominic Rowe.
So we manage quite a lot as well.
Manage, you mean you organise the rent?
Collect the rents, maintain the buildings.
Does that make you popular?
Popularity, not great, the gentlemen collect the rents, particularly during uncertain times.
If Bond Street's cupboards hold any skeletons, these guys know where they are.
The Chanel store, which in this form is only probably about 4 years old.
Yep.
Who recently bought their own freeholds for around about £300 million.
£310 million. It was competitive bidding. They went to the market. It was owned by a Swedish pension fund or a Swedish institution. They went to the market and Chanel outbid everyone. There was a lot of interest from Hong Kong and Asia in terms of other bidders. We were bidding for a Hong Kong investor, yes.
And you didn't luck out?
Unfortunately, we bid just a tad under 300, and Chanel ended up buying it. And they've obviously spent a lot of money when they were a tenant fitting the building out as well.
That fit out would have been certainly £40–50 million minimum.
So they just spent 40 to 50.
They rebuilt the building.
Before they owned it?
Yes, before they owned it.
As tenants.
Here we've got Ralph Lauren. The rents for this store is about £11 million a year.
We also acquired Boodles in 2013 for about £33 million. And today, in my opinion, it's probably worth in the order of about £70 million. Bearing in mind, these units are all going for around about £70 million, these single units at the moment.
So the rent will be out just over £2 million?
Yeah, be in that sort of order, yeah.
If you had a spare 50 million in your back pocket now, what would you get for 50 million?
Not very much.
But that's not a problem for everyone. In the pandemic, the super rich are estimated to have become 25% super richer. Stuck at home like the rest of us, they're looking for something to spend their money on. And what better place than a high-end auction house? Bonhams. As lockdown ends, they're gearing up for a special sale.
How did you come across this car?
Picked up the call, and the owner of this car wanted to know if we could help him. I've got a Mercury Cougar, he says. It appeared in a Bond movie. I said, hang on a minute, I'm a little bit of a Bond fan. This would be obviously on Her Majesty's Secret Service. It was Diana Rigg's car or Countessa Tracy's. And he said, yes, it is. This car, with an estimate that we placed on it, which is between £100,000 and £150,000, it isn't seen as a parameter that if you're up to the top of that level, you're loopy. It's more of a come and get me.
Bonhams have another special weapon in their armoury, a very special print.
This is Banksy, London, New York, Bristol, heavy weaponry. It's £250,000 to £350,000.
How is the market doing?
Do you know, it's actually doing really well, and I think that surprised all of us this year. I think at the start, with COVID, we weren't sure how the market was going to perform, but I have to say that all of our sales this year have done extremely well, and it's sort of set this unprecedented demand.
It is now 10 o'clock. We have now officially opened.
Bernard, too, is banking on a Banksy.
Bernard expects.
With November lockdown over, he opens his pop-up shop.
It's one of his ones called Morons. So that's what you see from the front. We've got some Harry Potter signed editions, and we've got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory first edition, Cat in the Hat. This is a streetcar named Desire signed by Marlon Brando. £6,500. The problem is that there are very few foreigners. That's the problem. Tourists and foreigners, businessmen, businesswomen, that's what drives the West End. And at the moment, no one's travelling. If we get in 10 a day, and if we get 1 a day who buys, that will be not too bad.
Boodles hope to find one mega-rich buyer before Christmas.
I've got some ideas to show you for the 10-carat pink pear shape.
Yes.
Here is the pink. Vault. Yeah, it is. It's our pride and joy at the moment. Fancy pink.
Super colour, isn't it? Pretty, and it's bright.
Yes, really bright.
The setting, it talks, doesn't it? And it's sort of candy floss or bubble gum. Those are the two. They don't sound very upmarket, do they? Whereas stone, which is priceless. I don't think we'd put candy floss on a valuation certificate, would we, Mike? I don't think.
No, in the old days we would have done. My father would have done it.
People who've got some lolly like pinks, and we've done well with pinks. Yeah. Pink's important to Boodles because it's our colour. It's important to me because I like pink. I wear everything's pink, actually, socks, the lot. And customers... Underwear? I'm not telling you. Actually, it is pink. You know.
So it is.
But will Boodle's future be quite as rosy? Bond Street has reopened just in time for its all-important Christmas period. It has to make up for lost time, and Bonhams is banking on the buoyant contemporary art market with its Banksy.
We move on to lot number 12. This is London, New York, Bristol, heavy weaponry by Banksy. Signature piece, this from 2000 in the edition of 10. This is a really great piece, and I can start here with interest. 150,000, 160, 170,000 I have. 180, thank you. Gentleman's bid seated at 190, sir. 200,000, 220 I have. 250,000. Gentleman is seated here at 250. Shall I sell the lot for 250? 250 for the second time. We're getting close. 250. Third and final. Very good, sir. You've got a future in auctioneering there. I love it. 250K, and your paddle number is 799. Many congratulations. What a great price. Move on to lot number 13. Thank you, sir.
Banksy was a great price. I think including all the premiums and everything else will be something in the region of £340,000, which for that series is a huge price. So we're thrilled that it sold. It sold to a very, very committed buyer. The fact that he walked out with an invoice, I think is all that really matters to him.
The sale of the Bond car will be the next step in the Battle of Bond Street. Admiral Lord Nelson lived in Bond Street in 1797. Since then, Everyone from some of London's highest paid prostitutes to Jimi Hendrix has lived around here. But now, there are almost no Bond Street residents left, apart from Ollie Claridge.
That used to be my front door.
How long ago?
About 8 years ago. Because that area there, that corridor is worth about £150,000 a year in rent. So I now use a rather discreet entrance, like a film star.
All the way around the back?
Yeah, or like someone visiting the plastic surgeon again. Well, I've lived here probably about 20 years. Guy Burgess, the spy, lived here until his flight to Russia.
Really?
And I think he had a lot of parties here and probably entertained a lot of rough sailors, because I think he'd rather like rough sailors. And then in this flat. And then I think it was a brothel after that. There's a floor above us, which is a kind of typical garret, and that was lived in by a lady of the night, a retired lady of the night. I rather hope she was retired, but I don't know. So it was quite insalubrious, Bond Street. Sadly, not anymore.
Garden designer Ollie Claridge has a unique rental arrangement on a flat worth more than the Boodle's diamond.
I'm here because my father lived here from the 70s onwards, and I took the lease from him. So I'm a bit of a sort of anomaly. I've got a peculiar old-fashioned lease which no longer exists. The landlord is the Swatch Group. Every major brand is here because they've got to have a shop in Bond Street. And the funniest one is Bulgari, which they're very nice people, but I sometimes refer to it as Vulgari, because their lights are so bright I could do surgery in this flat. I'm looking at Piaget, who sells jewels, Tasaki, who sells jewels, Harry Winston, who sells jewels, and it goes on. I don't know who buys all this stuff.
Boodles is putting all its muscle into ensuring someone will. During lockdown, master gem worker Matt has been putting the finishing touches to their £3.2 million pink diamond ring. Now they've got a chance to sell it.
Morning all. Well, today is the day we've all been waiting for about 4 or 5 weeks. A lot of our customers have just been isolated for a month. They've been doing very little, so let's hope they want to come out and come shopping. Who's optimistic? Good.
Another traditional Bond Street fixture, Charbonnel & Walker, is also intent on luring back customers.
Looking for anything in particular?
Which for them starts 130 miles away, at their factory in Prince Charles's model town of Poundbury. Today, Adam...
Rose and violets today, Claire, yeah?
...is catching up with new chocolate developer Claire Weller over the violet creams.
They look so shiny and fresh, don't they, when they come out of this machine? It's brilliant. I love the way they come out of here. When you first start working, it's like, oh my God, chocolate. Sometimes I go in and I'll eat chocolate from the moment I get there to the moment I leave. We mentioned that to the chairman. One of the greatest pleasures in the world is up there with, diamonds and flowers and fine wine and all these wonderful things and chocolate. And it makes you feel good. And God knows we need something to make us feel good right now. This is a naked violet cream. They're placed on the conveyor belt by hand. They go through and are enrobed in chocolate. Enrobed? Oh, yes. Chocolates are never covered or dipped. They're always enrobed. It's very Charbonnel. When they've come through once, they come back to the beginning and then they're double enrobed a second time. And as they come through the second time, they'll be hand-finished with the actual violet petals and the rose petals that we use.
And what are the violet petals made of?
They're literally petals. They're crystallised violet and rose petals. That's why some people, if you haven't tried them before, you go, it tastes of flowers, and how can that be? But it is, because we're using the natural flavourings from flowers themselves.
So sweet. As Bond Street shuts for the day, Dior is working all night to transform its store for Christmas. Outside, Instagrammers flock. moths to the brand flame.
So we went out so I could get pictures outside of the Dior sign with her Dior shoes. Yeah, I got to wear the shoes and the sign, so I was like, let me get some Instagram pictures.
Across the street, Louis Vuitton is doing the same. Two competitors, both owned by the French multinational LVMH, one of the corporate giants which has taken over Bond Street as the British brands give up the fight. One British brand fighting back is Boodles. With the boardroom transformed into a brasserie, socially distanced, tables for two, and pink bubbly flowing, they've lured in some top clients for lunch. Can they sell the pink diamond ring before Christmas?
A glass of bubbly maybe, or a glass of wine? That would be lovely, thank you. You take these off now.
My cousin Jodie Wainwright, who's our diamond buyer, has bought the most amazing pink diamond that we've ever seen. It's 10 carats, it's pear-shaped, Panter, nicely, just for you. So do pass it around and have a little look.
Do these people look like well-heeled tigers who've walked into a carefully prepared trap?
If people come here, there's a lot more chance they're going to spend money than if they're sitting at home. So that, you know, we're not halfway here, but we're a bit of the way here. We're giving them a good time. We're inviting people who are good customers anyway. So, you know, there is method in our madness. We are inviting them about 10, 12 days before Christmas. So if they're going to buy anything, it's more likely now than on January the 15th. The pink diamond, I haven't sold it yet. Mine only came from the workshop on Monday. We've showed it to a lot of people. If we sell it before Christmas, it will be something of a miracle. You'd expect it to take 6 months to a year.
Why don't you sell the rest and just have that?
Just to sell a child.
Yeah.
Wouldn't get that much.
If you sell the ring for around £3.2 million before Christmas, will you give yourself a Christmas present?
Oh, good question. Yeah. Well, I won't. But what I will do is pay myself this year. At one point, we didn't think we were going to pay ourselves anything, and I mean that, back in April. Then the year hasn't been as bad as all that, so we thought we'd take a 50% cut. If we sell it, we might not take that much of a cut. We'll see.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, they look out of range.
Chris and Bonnie have been customers for years, and saleswoman Emma knows exactly how to tease them along.
7.5 each.
How do negotiations usually work with you guys?
It normally goes like this, is that Bonnie wants something and she gets it. That's about it.
To be perfectly honest, I look after the finances, so I will only let us buy something that is affordable, you know, or feasible. To be perfectly honest, he thinks he's in charge, but of course he's not.
They might not have bought the big pink, but Emma has clinched a sale. The gorgeous earrings, a mere 15 grand. Diamonds may be forever, but the owner of the Bond car hopes it will prove lucrative too.
The person I bought the car from, the Cougar from, he said when I was buying it, it was supposed to have been used in the James Bond film. There's a cigar burn on the seat. It's supposed to be done by Cubby Broccoli.
After years of investigation, Rob tracked down the Ford Cougar's original sales docket, accelerating its value.
Yes, Ford were having a clear out of their stuff, and yeah, actually on here it actually says Bond movie. This is the order sheet as it came from the factory.
Were you sad to see it go?
My wife and daughter were both in tears, but I wasn't. It was sort of, I think it was a relief, I think, as much as anything else.
He'll have to wait. Disaster strikes for Bond Street. A third London lockdown just before Christmas.
Hello, Michael. How's it going?
How's it going? Well, as you can see, it's a bit like lockdown 1 here. It's very, very quiet.
looking down the street, everybody is closed. How's it going to affect luxury retail and this place?
Well, it'll bounce back, but I'm not sure when that bounce is going to come. It's all looking pretty grim at the moment. I mean, I dread to think how little business some in this street have done this Christmas because they are so dependent on overseas people and there aren't any. I mean, the rent and rates are huge. We are not such a big company that we can just absorb high Bond Street rent into marketing. We can't do that. So we are here to make a profit, which hasn't been that easy this year, I have to say.
But whatever the economic weather,
I love making the videos.
nothing can dampen Instagrammers' enthusiasm for this extraordinary street.
Again, go inside.
So this is your changing room?
Yeah. This is private changing room. Come in, guys. Don't be shy. Come in, please.
April the 12th, 2021. At last, the third lockdown eases, with the promise of a gradual return to normal. It's just after 8 a.m, and already customers are waiting, and the Boodle's appointment book for the week is almost full.
I had 2 text messages at midnight last night saying that I've got a client coming in. So, you know, we are busy. I think people are quite desperate to get out and spend. They've been stuck indoors for a very long time.
Oh, good. Well, it sounds like we should have hopefully quite a brisk start.
All of the private rooms are fully booked actually all week, so really, really pleasing to see that.
It's good to see you.
For some, the return to business is even more of a relief than for others.
I think I'll do one of each.
One of each?
True, it's been a long... Well, I think this second lockdown was worse than the first. For me, yeah, it's tough, wasn't it, Pete?
Yeah, it was.
He's all right. He done a little bit of scaffolding while we was off, because we were shut down. So look, he's beefed up a bit. He looks good, doesn't he? He looks quite good. He's got some lovely clients. They've all come back and get us going. And we've been quite busy, mate. Better than what I thought. That's Louis Vuitton, the Q. You've got Chanel, the Q, Hermes.
The Hermes is round all the way around the corner.
People have got money, they ain't going away. Yeah,
So
people have got money.
Hopefully they can try and spend it, and hopefully they spend it down here.
But not everyone is ecstatic to see the hordes return.
I think people have not had enough things to spend their money on. And now they feel that by doing that and going home with a bag with Cartier on it, suddenly they are alive. You poor things. I half mind to ask them what they think they're going to find when they get inside. What would be great is if they got inside and it was a branch of Greg's.
I just came to get a pair of slippers.
A pair of slippers?
Yeah.
Why here?
I always shop at Louis Vuitton, so if you want something, you wait.
I'm going to get one of the new Chanel bags that were released last month. It's a post-lockdown gift.
And can I ask you how much that's going to set you back?
5,500, yes.
For that?
Yeah.
But the biggest indicator that things are getting back to business as usual is the return of the luxury cars.
Aston Martin, lovely.
The nicer your car, the longer you can leave it parking without getting a ticket outside a shop.
Is this your car? It would be lovely if it was. So I'm just the lucky person that gets to drive it with none of the costs. The number plate must be expensive. Right, we're probably into 7 figures with the number plate. No. If not more, because it's so unique. If it was ever up for sale. I do get asked regularly, and the answer is just no. So it's not at any price.
Good. It is a very good sound, isn't it? That's a really good sound. Missed that sound. So I think we're deciding between 2. So it's just that's a question of which one. But maybe this will make the decision easier.
Boodles are finding they now have one sparkling advantage over their bigger competitors.
a glass of bubbly, maybe?
Ironically, we're one of the few jewellers in Bond Street who are not dependent on overseas people. I mean, most of the jewellers down here do the majority of their business with Middle East, Asia, and we'd love some of those customers. We've really wanted those customers for years and years. But now we're quite grateful for what we've got, which is principally British customers. And if they're stuck in the UK, why not come to London for a day or two or three?
Unlike Boodles, Bonhams positively relies on international buyers, and bidders for the Bond car are phoning in from across the world. Rob, the car's owner, and his wife have made it up from Bristol. Without a Bond connection, his car would be worth around £30,000.
Very excited, yeah.
If it sells well, will you be celebrating today?
I think so, yes. We were rather hoping to go for a meal, but of course we can't now.
Yeah.
Well, this car belongs to that select band of movie cars that are featured in the James Bond series of films. It's one of only 3 ordered specifically for the film, long-term current ownership, and well, he'll start me at £80,000, at £80,000. 80,000 straight in, thank you, at 80,000 we're bid. At £80,000 and going, at 80,000, 85,000 bid, thank you, at 85,000. 85,000, 90,000, 90,000, 95,000, 95, 100,000. The online's lit up, 100,000. Selling all the way, 100,000. Any more bids at 110,000 bid? 110, your bid at 110. Any advance at 110? 120 I've got. 120 just before you, Richard. 120,000. 120,000.
150, sir.
150,000? Well, why not? 150,000. Well, that's designed to intimidate. Has it worked? 150,000. 160,000.
170.
170. 180. 180,000.
200, sir.
200,000. 200,000.
200 with us.
200,000. 220. We'll keep it in 20.
230, sir.
230. 240,000.
250.
250.
250 with us.
250,000. 260.
260
Bonham's out
bid.
back at 260,000.
270.
270,000. 280,000. 280,000.
290, sir.
290. 290,000. Telephone against you online. 300,000 bid.
305, sir.
305.
305 with us.
Might be on the ropes there. 305.
With us at 300.
So next will be 310. 310 they...
Okay.
310. Undoubtedly a record for the model. £310,000 and selling. Sold. 310,000.
It's brilliant. It's a nice story. It's going to Switzerland, the place that made it famous.
Very pleased.
So it's quite a bit higher than the reserve and what we were expecting. And yes, still in shock, total shock at the moment.
Yeah, I think we're a bit numb.
What are your plans?
Definitely a bottle of champagne. We'll start with that.
Bond Street is back in business.
There we are. The team are buzzing. People have been wanting to get back to some sense of normality, and actually for some of our clients coming in to see their sales associate in a private room is the most normal thing they can have done in 16 weeks.
9,000 it is, thank you.
At his pop-up shop, Bernard Shapiro has just made a sale of £22,000 for an old map of London, one of his most popular lines.
We sold our big map front of the shop, which has now been replaced by another slightly smaller map of London. The stock market has boomed. Assets have all gone up across the board, property, all assets have gone up. So people who had money have more money.
Where is the iguana?
He's in the window. He's still available. No, I think it was £9.50, wasn't he?
£9.50,
That was a snip. A snip, Mike. Shall I send an invoice?
Have Boodles had a taker for their biggest asset?
Has any of you yet had any bites for the pink diamond?
We think we probably know a dozen to 20 people who could buy it, but we'll just have to see. A lot of them haven't seen it yet, but you know, don't worry. In the next few weeks and months, we will be trying our damnedest to show it to them.
But the last word goes to the one person who actually lives here.
Shocked I wouldn't be able to get a cup of sugar, let alone a pint of milk. I could get a cup of diamonds. I mean, since about 1800, it's always been about showing off, always been about luxury. It's not a flash in the pan.
Do you think this street will last?
Absolutely. This street will be here when humanity is gone.